The ANZAC spirit is woven into the fabric of our society. The spirit is strong in my family, and I've often wondered what that means. Born from two countries each side of the Tasman, the ANZAC spirit seems to have been embedded in my life from day one. It was obvious to me from a young age. There are more questions than answers. From the photos on the wall of people I didn't know, to early morning starts marching in the street. It's time I found out why. So today, I am starting my search, to find the meaning of the spirit, to answer the questions, and to finally know what my family did to serve their countries, and the ANZACs. My name is Imogen Coles, and this is my search for the ANZAC spirit. My search begins just around the corner from where I live. I have met with my Nana Jean, who tells me about her and my grandfather's life on the farm. As a primary producer, Malcolm didn't go to war. He lived in Māori, Victoria, and farmed sheep and wheat. Other people like Malcolm did their part with the war effort as farmers too, and in the past they have been overlooked. But today, their amazing work is being recognised more and more. My grandfather died in 1965, so today my Nana and I have taken the trip to say hello. My search is now leading me further than my back porch. I am off to New Zealand, where hopefully some more of my questions will be answered. I want to know about 4 other members of my family who fought, and some who died, in the 2 world wars of our history. These men are William Sanders, Leo Coles, Ted Keeley, and Harold Bell. After arriving in New Zealand, I am off to Auckland War Memorial Museum. There, I meet Gail and Sandra, and get the chance to visit the history of my great-uncle, William Sanders.
So Imogen, this is the Victoria Cross that was won by Lieutenant Commander Sanders, and this was for an action, I believe it was actually his first patrol as commander of the prize, which was the Q ship. Q ships were effectively decoy ships that were sent out there to entrap submarines and so forth. And in the very first action, he showed outstanding bravery and won this, which is the top gallantry medal. And in fact, it's the only naval VC won in New Zealand.
In addition to letting me hold my great-uncle's VC, Gail shows me William Sanders' prize sword, his great coat, and his commander's jacket, and I am at a loss for words. I have time for reflection as I walk down the Memoriam Hall. It is an experience I don't think I will ever forget. And I find a name on the wall, Ted Keeley, which gets me thinking, my journey is not yet done. I have come to the Torpedo Bay Naval Museum to research the history of my great-grandfather, Leo Coles. Leo fought in World War II with the New Zealand Navy on board the HMNZ Achilles and then the Minesweepers. Leo didn't serve in the Achilles during the Battle of the River Plate, but was commissioned soon after. The battle took place on the 13th of December 1939 and was the first naval battle of World War II. After Leo served in the Achilles, he worked on a minesweeper. It was their role to remove enemy mines from the ocean and lay down their own. These minesweepers were known as the Little Birds because they were small and fast. Leo survived the Second World War but died in 1965. We're in Papamoa in New Zealand, and I'm just here with my Nana and Granddad, just talking about a few relatives of mine who fought in World War II. Granddad, was the war discussed at home?
No, not at all, no.
Why was that?
Well, I think probably they wanted to forget about it. It's the only explanation I can offer.
Did that affect you at all?
No, not really, no.
No? And how did it affect you, Nana?
Well, it didn't at the time because we were young. Yep. Right, I was born in 1943, I think the war ended in 1945. But as you grow up, you get curious and you want to know about relations and your parents, you know, about the war, and quite often it becomes too late to find out the questions because, you know, your parents pass on.
So, Granddad, do we have any other relatives in the war?
Well, as a matter of fact, we do. Would you like to see some documents and photos of them?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Well, I just happen to have some here, if you'd like to look.
Yeah, sure.
And this is a Christmas card from my Uncle Ted, who was in the war in Egypt and who actually got killed on service in Egypt. But you'd like to read that out, probably.
Sure. Wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To Mum, Dad and all. Wishing you all the best from Ted. 6th of the 10th, 41.
41. Yeah.
Wow,
That's one
awesome.
photo. Yeah, oh, sorry.
Oh, that's alright.
And there's a picture of the Christmas card.
I find Ted's story very sad. He was wounded in battle and being transported back to a field hospital for treatment. But on the way, the ambulance was bombed by an enemy fighter plane. Ted and all the ambulance crew were killed. Ted was buried in Libya, and he remains there to this day. Stay in New Zealand, and we've got one more person to interview. I think she's here now, so. Hello, Nicola.
Hello, Emmy. How are you, love?
Thank you.
Oh, I'm good, thank you. Gosh.
Good for in. What have you got there?
Emmy, I brought something round for you that I think you'll be interested in doing your project.
Oh, what is it?
And this is a photo of your great-grandfather and who served in Fiji in the war, and his service medals.
So this medal was for service to New Zealand,
Yes.
1939 to 1945.
Yes, it was.
And that one doesn't have much on it, but this one is a defence medal.
Yes, that's the defence medal.
The spirit is driven by the people who made ANZAC. Gallipoli brought these two nations together, and to this day the key qualities of which were formed by these brave soldiers are what bind us together. The Australians and New Zealanders today hold a great respect for each other, and for the Turkish. We have built not just a history, but a national identity which has allowed us to embrace multiculturalism. The soldiers brought us our freedom, and it was a sacrifice we all should remember. Courage, mateship, determination, bravery, sacrifice. This is what ANZAC stands for. Freedom is the spirit of ANZAC. They shall not grow old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. The going down of the sun, and in the morning we will remember them.